Hello, my enthusiasts. Welcome to the first ever Nintendo news segment. I do apologize that this video is coming a bit later. I got sidetracked with think pieces, recording playthrough series, working out, working in general, all that kind of good stuff. But let's just jump in. We have quite a few news stories. We're going to start off with Nintendo acquires Next Level Games. The Luigi's Mansion developer will become a wholly owned subsidiary of the platform holder in March. This comes from GamesIndustry.biz. Nintendo announced the acquisition of Vancouver-based studio Next Level Games for an undisclosed sum. Shares of the Luigi's Mansion 3 developer were previously owned by its directors and employees, a number of which recently decided to sell, creating an opportunity for Nintendo to make the studio its wholly owned subsidiary, the announcement said. The deal, which details haven't been reviewed, is expected to close on March 1st, 2021. Next Level Games was created in 2002 and is well known for its partnership with Nintendo on series such as Mario Strikers and Luigi's Mansion, as well as 3DS title Metroid Prime Federation Force, which I hope we never see again. In the announcement, Nintendo said the acquisition will only have minor effects on its results for the fiscal year, since I'm assuming whatever game that they are working on, Next Level Games is working on, assuming it's a Switch exclusive with a Nintendo IP, will not be ready by 2021, maybe 2022 or 2023. We'll see something of it. With this purchase, the platform holder said it wanted to secure NLG's development's expertise and the availability of its resources, as well as facilitate an anticipated improvements in development speed and quality by enabling closer communication and exchange of staff with the Nintendo development team. So members of the Nintendo development team will be heading over to Vancouver. I believe they're going to keep the studio there. It wouldn't make any sense to buy the studio and then move them to Japan or somewhere in the United States or even in Europe. I think Canada, in Vancouver, is a good spot. So the people from Nintendo, I don't know if it's going to be the Japanese studio, European, or Nintendo of America, employees are going to head over there. This is a really good get for Nintendo. I honestly thought Nintendo owned them, but I guess not. Yeah, Luigi's Mansion, the first one I've said just amazing things about it. It's just a great game. Nothing really like it. Dark Moon wasn't the biggest fan of, but still a good game. Luigi's Mansion 3, a new episode of that playthrough series will come soon. I like it, but there's just something missing, and I still haven't figured out why I don't love it. Mario Strikers Charge and just Mario Strikers series, we haven't seen that at all, and there's just beautiful footage of Nintendo characters in that game. It's kind of unsettling, some of the facial animations and kind of even some of the actions that they do, but both of those games are really, really good. And of course, Metroid Prime Federation Force, I don't blame this studio for making that game. I blame Nintendo for even coming up with the idea that making a Metroid Prime game with not Samus is just not a good call, but this is a really, really good get for Nintendo, and yeah, I'm actually excited to see what they do. Will they make another Luigi's Mansion game? Probably. Will they make another Mario Strikers game? Hopefully. I would love to see that. Maybe something else. Give this studio Kid Icarus, give the studio Golden Sun, give this studio some other Nintendo IP that we haven't seen in a while, or that we have, but just give it a different spin of what they could do. Because yeah, it's a sports game and then a action adventure game, because I don't want to consider Luigi's Mansion to be a platformer, like an action adventure horror, as I put that in air quotes. And they also did Metroid Prime Federation Force, which is a first-person shooter game. So yeah, so far their catalog with Nintendo IP is pretty broad. It's kind of vast compared to other development teams. So, what a good get. And then, of course, like I said before, the deal, which details haven't been reviewed, is expected to close on March 1st, 2021. So, nice, Nintendo. Welcome to Next Level Games. Welcome to the Nintendo first-party family, I should say. Speaking of another company trying to buy out Nintendo, this comes from Engadget.com. Microsoft tried to buy Nintendo, but got laughed out of the room. The company wanted Nintendo software for the original Xbox. Somehow, it's already been 2 decades since Microsoft first announced the Xbox. It's foray into console gaming. Specifically, the Xbox was unveiled at CES in 2001. To commemorate that launch, Bloomberg has published an in-depth oral history of how the console came to be. Pretty much it's saying that while the company implored third-party developers to work on the Xbox, Microsoft also considered using its considerable financial might to buy developers, which they're doing right now with Bethesda. And Microsoft's set its sights high, approaching Nintendo about an accusation. Microsoft was laughed out of the room, says Kevin Buckus, a director for third-party relations on the Xbox project at the time. Like, imagine an hour of somebody just laughing at you. That was kind of how the meeting went. Microsoft's specific pitch did make some amount of sense. At the time, Nintendo was lagging behind Sony badly from hardware perspective, so Microsoft figured it could take on hardware production and leave Nintendo to focus on the software. We actually had Nintendo in our building in January 2000 to work through the details of a joint venture where we gave them all the technical specs of the Xbox, said head of business development Bob McBreen. The pitch was that their hardware stunk, and compared to Sony PlayStation, it did. So the idea was, listen, you're much better at the game portions of it with Mario and all that stuff. Why don't you let us take care of the hardware? But it didn't work out. Imagine also like being Microsoft and going in to Nintendo and saying, hey, you suck at making hardware, but your games are amazing. Come work with us. But in my opinion, I think Nintendo's better at making hardware than Microsoft is, especially user interfaces. I look at the Xbox Series X, S, and even Xbox One and that whole family. Their user interface to me is just atrocious. But I don't know, I just find this story hilarious because Microsoft, who is acquiring studios now and is still looking to acquire studios, like the huge rumors that they might acquire Sega, which I don't think will ever happen. They try to do that even in the past. And, you know, honestly, if you're a company that has a lot of money, do it. It makes a lot of sense in my opinion, so I don't understand why you wouldn't want to do it. Speaking of Nintendo Switch, here we have more Nintendo Switch Pro rumors are doing the rounds thanks to a recent data mine. This comes from GamesRadar.com. On Reset Era, there are claims that the new hardware is codenamed Aula, A-U-L-A. I know I definitely butchered that name, and that there are a bunch of references to it in the code. It goes on to say, Nintendo is actually working on a new mode with upgraded display stuff and has been for 1.5 to 2 years. Cyrus M claims, I personally believe it's 4K given the signs I'm seeing in the firmware, but that's not confirmed and could be wrong. The new hardware is codenamed Ayula. It's using Marico SoC. That's a bunch of references to it in the code. Cyrus M continues. The tablet itself definitely has an upgraded display. I don't know if it's 4K. Ayula has firmware support some Realtek chip that advertises itself as a 4K UHD multimedia SoC. 2. Hence my belief it's 4K. That chip might be inside a new dock and not inside the tablet, though there's no way to tell from the firmware code yet. So this is really interesting to me because the 4K chip is in the dock, not in the actual system itself. Like, not the actual tablet that you pull out of it. So does that mean if you're trying to play games in handheld mode, it won't be 4K? And then what would that do with the resolution to certain games? I don't know, it's kind of interesting. To me, it's like, if this is true, of course, take this with a grain of salt. But if this is true, that wouldn't make any sense to me on why you would even want to buy it. Because that's the beauty of the Switch, is that you can switch from console to handheld. So to me, why would you want to take away power in handheld mode when you really don't have to? It wouldn't make sense to do that. It wouldn't be really consistent of a system to do that. That's why to me, I'm sitting here being like, I don't know if I believe this rumor. It's cool, and I guess in a way it makes sense, but I honestly think that I don't think we'll ever see a Switch Pro, just due to the fact that Doug Bowser recently spoke to Polygon, and he has stated that since the Switch is selling well, why would we throw another one in the market? I'm paraphrasing what he said, of course, but still, it's just interesting hearing about Switch Pro rumors. It's also interesting hearing about Switch game rumors. This comes from Marco Mero on Twitter. Marco Mero kind of has a decent track record. He's been right recently in the past about Pikmin 3 Deluxe and the new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon XD game. It's not really new, it's a port. So I guess he's good with ports, but I don't know about actual games. But either way, on his Twitter thread, he has stated, I have been asked so many times about the new style boutique for Switch. It's coming in 2021, but was meant to be released this year. The game is almost complete, so this is another Pikmin 3 Deluxe situation. Another port comes to the Switch. Also, NOE is trying to localize the remakes of Famicom Detective Club, but the first games will be released in Japan in Q2. Initial plans were to release it in December. Bayonetta 3 is planned to be released in 2021. PG is making a few ports to Switch, some of them for 2021. A new Pikmin game should be shown in 2021, which that would be great because in my 2021 Nintendo Has Many Anniversaries think piece, which by the way, you should all check it out, I worked really hard on it, I said that a new Pikmin game should be shown off in 2021. Now Marco Mero here is claiming that it's going to be, but I don't know. Kirby's next big game is promising and looking to be released next year. Donkey Kong Country 6, of course they won't call it that, they'll call it something else. Captain Toad sequel, and few new IP are being affected by COVID, making push back the development for 6 months. Donkey Kong Country, a new entry, will be, it wouldn't be surprising, but it would be nice to see. Captain Toad sequel, I'd be really shocked to see. Not saying that the game is bad, but I don't think it's sold as well as, say, other games on the Switch. Wario Land VB Remake, project is dead since the studio is bankrupt. Wario Land franchise is now again in good few hands with a game early in production for Switch. Also, Wario Land Shake HD for Switch is on the table. Wario Land Shake would be really cool. Anything Wario related I think would be great. And having a Wario game come out in 2022, because that is his that's his 30th anniversary. I think that would make a lot of sense. Metro 2D is another game that is mostly done and just waiting TBA. Game was in development since late 2017. Was meant to be a cross release between 3DS, Switch, but in 2018 Nintendo shut down any remaining 3DS projects and focused on the Switch because the Switch is selling. So it's not really that big of a surprise. It was supposed to be TBA this year, but COVID makes things slow down. It's going to be released 1H 2021. If it's not more delays, MP Collection is still on hold, waiting for the fourth installment to make big progress and release both with less than a year difference. MP4 is aiming for 2022. Also, WarioWare is another of those games that are mostly finished, waiting for a 2021 release. The Fire Emblem remake should be announced early next year to be released in Q2 or summer. Paper Mario 64 remake is still happening. I know, why would you remake that one? I don't agree with this rumor at all. Is trying to bring Advance Wars franchise back. They have been trying for a while. Maybe you will see something in 2021. Apart from that, they are making a small game similar to Pushmo. Pokemon presentation early next year, focusing in new Pokemon Snap. For spring, minor games like Detective Pikachu, in a Pokemon Collection February, Pokemon Gen 4 Remix, and Let's Go sequel 2021-2022, TBA later in 2021. To be announced later, I know, I think that's going to be a Pokemon Day. The Pokemon Gen 4 Remakes or Let's Go sequels, a whole bunch of Gen 4 Remakes, will be later, will be Pokemon Day, so it'll be February of 2021. And last Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel is meant to be released alongside the new upgraded Switch. This revision is planned for April 2021 if it is not delayed. More Zelda games are coming in 2021, like both Zelda games from the Wii U HD Collection and remake for Oracles in 2022. I, of course, don't believe 100% of these rumors. I feel like some of them are too good to be true. For example, Paper Mario 64 remake. I don't understand why you would want to remake that one, even though Origami King came out last year. And with how the Paper Mario development team's track record has been about, we have to, think of new ideas, I don't see Paper Mario 64 remake happening at all, or even going back to that play style ever again. Of course, Kirby's next game, HAL Laboratory, has teased that there are going to be Kirby announcements next year. Donkey Kong Country, I believe if there is going to be a Donkey Kong Country, I think Marco Mero has stated that it's not going to be made by Retro, because of course Retro is working on Metroid Prime 4. Like I said before, I don't think we're going to see Captain Toad Treasure Tracker anytime soon. Anything Wario related, I think would be great, but not. I don't feel like it's a necessity until 2022. And then Metroid Prime 2D, I think that'd be great to see, but I don't think we're going to. Advance Wars, I think, is dead because Fire Emblem is such a huge franchise. So, like I said before, some of the rumors he has stated I feel like are true, but then some of them I feel like are not. And then really quick, there's a couple of just more news. I'm going to kind of go rapid fire on this. NintendoLife.com reports, frame rate and resolution for Monster Hunter Rise demo reviewed. What's the verdict? Capcom has launched a highly anticipated demo for its upcoming Switch release, Monster Hunter Rise. Now that the download issues on the eShop have been sorted out, since so many people were trying to get onto the demo, the eShop couldn't even contain itself and it was having issues. This comes from the same YouTube channel that investigated the performance demos of Hyrule Warriors Age Calamity and Pikmin 3 Deluxe, has taken a look at the new Monster Hunter entry. It confirms the game runs at a stable 30 frames per second and docked in handheld mode, even in more intense moments. The gameplay that you're seeing right now is from the demo, and I have to say, 30 frames per second it's nice, I'm not gonna lie, and this game is really fun. I cannot wait to play the final product. It would be nice to see it at 60 frames per second, especially in certain situations. But yeah, March 26th. I'm super excited for it. From NintendoLife.com. This one's kind of a funny one. Sleepy at work? Put your head in Gengar's gob with this new Pokemon Sleeping Companion. Check out that 5.5 foot ton. Pokemon has given us some pretty incredible consumer products in recent years, such as Snorlax Plush, which is literally large enough to sleep on. The company that created that particular dream product, Premium Bandai, is back with yet another Pocket Monster related plush that we didn't know we needed, the Gengar Sleeping Companion. The idea here is that you rest your head inside Gengar's mouth and roll out his 5.5 foot long tongue to lie on, or wrap yourself in if you prefer. As you can see from the promotional images, the applications for this product are seemingly endless. You can honestly, it's funny, you can put your head in its mouth. You can use its tongue as a blanket, use it as a pillow. I think it's funny. I think it's cool. I wonder how much it is though. It cannot be. Oh, it's $250, like US dollars. Ooh, that is. I mean, yeah, it's too much. But oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know if I can spend $250 on it, but holy cow, it's awesome looking. I love the way it looks. I love to get one down the road. And finally, from NintendoLife.com, Ask Iwata gets an English release this April. Pre-order now. Viz Media has announced it will be releasing an English translation of Iwata's Son, a Satoru Iwata tribute book originally published in Japan last year. Ask Iwata compiles the former Nintendo president and CEO's famous interviews with a single motivational collection and will be available next spring in print and digital. Of course, if you'd like to read these interviews right now, there's nothing stopping you. All of them can be viewed over on the official Nintendo website. The book itself is also included in special interviews with Shigeru Miyamoto and Shigesato Itoi, the creator of Earthbound, reflecting on their time with him. Once again, it's coming out next spring, so keep an eye out for more information. And there's been a couple updates with it. Ask Iwata Words of Wisdom from Nintendo's legendary CEO is available to pre-order on Amazon for $22.99. It is a hardcover and contains a total of 176 pages. And update number 2, publisher Viz Media has confirmed the English translation of Ask Iwata will be released here in the West on April 13th, 2021, which you can, of course, pre-order now. I think that this, which I already have, by the way, I think this is a great thing. I love the Iwata Asks videos that Nintendo used to publish. I thought they were always great. No one, I don't think any CEO would be like Iwata. Iwata did everything. He was a programmer, he led Nintendo, he saved a lot of Nintendo franchises, like Pokemon Gold and Silver and Crystal. He was able to add Kanto, granted it's not one-to-one Kanto, into those games. Those games would be vastly different or not even released at all if he didn't work on them. He's the one who programmed Kanto into those 3 games. He saved Itoi-san's Earthbound franchise. He told Itoi-san, and I'm paraphrasing, that if you want to go through development hell, it would take about 2 years to 2.5 years, or if you want, we can get this project done. We have to scrap it, completely restart, but get it done in a half a year or a year or maybe a year and a half. I'm paraphrasing, of course. So yeah, he saved a lot of Nintendo franchises, and he became president and CEO of Nintendo. I remember the day that he passed away. I was driving home and my older brother texted me. He sent me a link from IGN and he asked me, he's like, is this true? And I looked at the link. I said, yeah, it's from IGN and other sources are reporting on it as well. It has to be true. And I remember I played Splatoon and there were so many on the Wii U when you were able to draw just images and so many people thanking Iwata and all of that. So I always have to say, when I play Nintendo, I always thank Iwata. Iwata saved a lot of Nintendo franchises, and Nintendo wouldn't be where they are at without him. So, thank you, Iwata, and I'm really looking forward to reading this book. I cannot wait. April 13th. Hopefully I can get my copy that day, if not a couple days after. So yes, that was the first ever Nintendo news. I really don't know what else to call these videos. This one was a lot. I'm not going to lie. I kind of grabbed stories that I found interesting. Not all of these videos would be this long. This one's a pretty long one. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys liked it. Give this video a like, comment. Let's get some conversation going about all the Nintendo news going on, even upcoming stuff that has happened before this video got published. And yeah, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Until next time, I will see you guys on the next Nintendo news, which won't be released until next Monday. I am going to try to space these out away from my weight loss videos and then my think pieces that come out each and every single Friday, but I might be changing some of the scheduling around. But so this will be coming out. The next one will be coming out next Monday. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next Nintendo news. Have a good day.